Thank you. Well, we got a bit of a technical problem. Krissy couldn't hear us, obviously, but she's looking very lovely, isn't she? We'll get back to her coming up in a little short while. Let's go and have a look at lovely old Mississauga. Now, we're going to go outside and join Krissy. I think she can hear us now, and a nice Christmassy scene behind you, Krissy.
Isn't it beautiful? So festive here in Mississauga's Celebration Square. They just opened up the rink this Saturday and illuminated the tree, and it's putting me in the spirit. Adding to that here in Mississauga, a couple flurries actually just started to fall as if on cue. As for temperatures, though, bundle up a little bit below seasonal. And as we start the morning, Toronto just at 2 degrees, in through Hamilton at 1, and then Oshawa, Kitchener, and Barrie all at -1, adding to that a little bit of a wind chill in effect. But overall, we're looking at sun and cloud today with a couple hint of flurries as we're seeing here in Mississauga. Looks like we got the good end of the stick in regards to the weather, Emily, because I know we're dealing with the nor'easter in Atlantic Canada. Well, you saw the active weather around the globe there in Force of Nature. Thanks for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard in a very festive mood because we're in Celebration Square in Mississauga. Now, of course, we know across the country we're surrounded by storms. We have the nor'easter in Atlantic Canada, and then in the prairies, very deep chills and snow moving into Alberta. But here in Ontario, we're getting the lucky straw in regards to the weather. Yes, it's a little bit below seasonal. You'll make sure to have the jacket, the scarf, the hat, and all the gear. But overall, sun and cloud today, not a lot of wind, which I know many of us appreciate after earlier in the week. I myself lost a fence, so I guess I'll start having to make a game plan to get that all fixed up. As for temperatures, starting the morning off in the city of Toronto at 2 degrees, we have 1 degree in Hamilton, through Kitchener -1, Barrie -1, Oshawa -1 as well. And just keep in mind, Emily and Tom, that we are dealing with a little bit of a wind chill that Well, you saw the active weather there in Force of Nature. Thanks for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard. Here at home, well, in Atlantic Canada, we're dealing with the nor'easter. In Alberta, the snow. But here in Ontario, southern Ontario in particular, a very nice and calm day. I will say on the cool side, though, we're in Mississauga in Celebration Square. And I think all this festive cheer that's surrounding me is keeping me nice and toasty. A little bit of a wind chill, though, so you definitely want to have a nice warm coat, the scarf, the mitts, the whole gamut. As we head into the weekend, things will be warming up. I know Emily and Tom will have more details on that. As for temperatures for starting your morning in the city of Toronto, 2 degrees. We're at 1 degree in Hamilton. In Barrie, -1. In through Oshawa, -1. And -1 in Kitchener as well. And again, a little bit of a wind chill, so do make sure to bundle up. Well, you saw the active weather there in Force of Nature, but here in Mississauga in Celebration Square, it's all about the festive scene this morning. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard. And the tree just got illuminated this past weekend in Celebration Square. In addition, behind me is the ice skating rink that's open at 10 a.m. So I won't be able to show you my Bambi-like skills on the ice rink today, but definitely this is the perfect day to come out and enjoy an outdoor rink in your neighborhood because things are relatively calm. Right now we have a little bit of cloud in the sky. The sun will be coming out shortly. Sunrise just around getting close to 1:30 now. As for temperatures, you definitely want to have yourself bundled up. There's a little bit of a wind chill out here. Temperature-wise in Toronto, starting the day off at 2 degrees. Hamilton at 1. Barrie -1. Oshawa -1. And Kitchener -1. And as I say, a little bit of a wind chill, but thank goodness winds significantly calmer than what we faced earlier in the week. Thanks for that, Emily. Yes, you saw the active weather there in Force of Nature. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard. And look at this behind me, the beautiful tree in Celebration Square in Mississauga. Evidence that, can you believe it, Christmas less than a month to go now. Of course, we have Black Friday coming up this week, so I know many of you will be hitting up the malls and shopping. But this is also the time of year that you need to embrace the fact that we're into the cooler season and enjoy some of those winter activities. I know for myself, myself, they're not my forte. Skiing, well, I'm the one that tumbles into the orange fencing at the bottom. Skating as well, I look like Bambi, but I may have to give it a try. Here at Celebration Square, they do have public skating that starts from 10 until 10, so no excuse. Get out and enjoy this relatively calm day. Starting the morning off, you need to pack on the layers a little bit because it is on the chilly side. We have 2 degrees in the city of Toronto, 1 in Hamilton, still -1 in Barrie, -1 in Kitchener, and -1 in Oshawa. And added to that, Emily and Tom, we are experiencing a bit of a wind chill this morning, making it feel a couple degrees cooler than that. Well, you saw the active weather there in Force of Nature. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard on this very festive morning. We're in Mississauga in Celebration Square, and overall, if you're starting the day, be sure to have the layers. Do as I do because you're going to appreciate it when you head out. Yes, it's not frigid and freezing like the prairies right now, but it's certainly cool enough to warrant getting yourself bundled up to start the day. Really going to be a calm day, though, so even in Celebration Square, they've opened up the ice skating rink. Great opportunity to bring the family out. They're open from 10 until 10, and you can rent some skates as well if you don't have your own. As for temperatures, well, Toronto starting at 2 degrees, Hamilton 1 degree, through Barrie -1, Oshawa -1, Kitchener the -1 degree mark as well. And just keep in mind, if you are traveling out, there's a bit of a wind chill out there, Tom and Emily, so making it feel a couple degrees cooler. No shortage of active weather there in your Force of Nature. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard. And across the country, we have the nor'easter that we're dealing with in Atlantic Canada, in through Alberta. They're seeing the snow, but here at home in southern Ontario, a relatively calm start to the day. I'm in Mississauga at Celebration Square, and as you can see behind me, they actually have the tree illuminated this past weekend on the 22nd. That is when the official opening ceremonies began. And in addition to that, the big ice skating rink has also opened up. I would recommend, if you have the opportunity today, come on out, get the skates on. You can rent them as well. Starting at 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., they'll be open. This is going to be an excellent day to do those types of outdoor activities with the family. And let's face it, I've just been out here a little bit this morning, and it has me feeling festive. Temperature-wise, not so much. I'm not a big fan of the cold. I know, Emily, you aren't either. Starting the day off in the city of Toronto at 2 degrees, Hamilton 1, in through Barrie -1, Oshawa -1, and Kitchener -1. And to add to that as well, when you get that little bit of the northeasterly breeze, we are dealing with a slight wind chill that has it feeling a couple degrees cooler. Well, you saw the active weather there from across the country and around the world, but here in Ontario today, relatively calm conditions, but on the cool side. I'm in Mississauga in Celebration Square, joined by Archie, who just put the toque on. Archie, we released our winter outlook earlier this week, and we're calling for a winter very similar to last year, quite cold. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's quite cold today and too early compared last year. Starting November, it's not the usual thing in Ontario, right? And especially in Toronto. So it's early cold and put up winter clothes ahead.
Absolutely, and it looks good. You've got the toque at the ready there. That's exactly what you'll need. Starting the day in Toronto at 2 degrees, 1 degree in Hamilton, -1 in Barrie, -1 in Kitchener, and -1 in Oshawa. And add to that a bit of a wind chill. Well, plenty of active weather there to talk about around the globe, and of course here at home in the northeastern Atlantic Canada through Alberta, seeing snow, but here in Mississauga, calm conditions on the cold side. And as you saw there in Celebration Square, they're getting the ice rink all ready for a day of family fun. Starting at 10 a.m., the public skating hours begin. They'll have skating rentals as well later in the day, so no excuses. This is the time of year where, yes, it's Canada. Yes, it's cold, feeling below seasonal today, but you kind of have to embrace it. And I find those types of activities can make it quite a bit better for you. So how cold are we starting the day? Well, we're at 2 degrees in the city of Toronto, 1 degree in Hamilton, -1 in Barrie, -1 in Kitchener, and -1 in Oshawa. The temperatures really haven't moved too much throughout the morning hours. To add to that, we have winds out of the northeast, luckily on the calm side, especially compared to earlier in the week, but you do feel a little bit of a wind chill, and as a result, temperatures feel a couple degrees cooler. Well, you saw the active weather there in your force of nature. Thanks for joining me. I'm Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard. I almost said Emily. Emily will be coming up. As for temperatures here in Mississauga this morning, you can see I'm nice and bundled up. And before we came on live, I actually had a little bit of a shiver go through it. You're definitely feeling the chill. We're in Celebration Square, though, and I'll tell you, this warms me up. Look at this beautiful Christmas tree. It was illuminated starting last Saturday, and added to that, they've opened up the public ice rink. It opens at 10 o'clock today. Going to be open throughout the day and really throughout the season. So be sure to get the family and enjoy, whether it be in Mississauga at Celebration Square, an open rink in your community, because that is a signature Canadian activity for this time of year. We may have to face the cold, but we should mix it in with a little bit of fun. As for temperatures, well, someone like me, not so fun. Starting at 2 degrees in Toronto. If you're in Hamilton, 1 degree, and then it gets into the negatives. Through Barrie, -1. Kitchener, -1. Oshawa, -1. Add to those temperatures a wind chill, and yes, you're going to need the toque this morning.
All right, we've got Krissy Vann in for Kevin Yard today. She's been joining us all morning long from Mississauga and Celebration Square. Krissy, now you've been saying it's starting to make you feel a little bit more festive.
It really is, and that's hard to do when I'm on the cold side, Emily. I know you're not a fan of the cooler conditions as well, but that is what we're facing for the day. So if you are traveling out the door, be sure to make sure to pack all the layers, because you'll appreciate the fact that you did. Celebration Square, of course, had their big tree illuminate over the weekend. The ice skating rinks have opened. I know in many communities in Southern Ontario, those outdoor rinks are now open. Celebration Square in particular opens up from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. today. I'd highly recommend coming out. I don't know about you, Emily, but winter sports, not exactly my forte. I'm terrible on skis, terrible on snowboards. So out of all of them, skating would be my favorite. What's your favorite one to try out?
Krissy, you're so funny. I don't do any winter sports. Are you kidding? We are going to be experiencing a fairly cool day today, only 2 degrees. Krissy Vann's been joining us in Mississauga this morning down at Celebration Square and checking out some of the trees and the skating. I think it's making her feel a little bit festive, isn't it, Krissy?
It certainly is, but now that we brought attention to it, yes, we're down to the final shopping weekends. I can hardly believe it. So sometimes you need to add an extra dose of holiday cheer. A great way to do that is to come out and enjoy the public skating rinks in your community. And here in Mississauga at Celebration Square, the rink officially reopened last Saturday. They do have many public skating hours. I know they'll be open at 10 a.m. today. Good day to get out and enjoy it because it's relatively calm and clear, but it is cold. I've been out here for a couple of hours now and definitely appreciating every single layer I have on, Emily, because I know I'm a lot like yourself. I'm a bit of a bigger fan of the heat.
Oh, me too. I'm a baby when it comes to the cold. I wore my full length, like right down to my ankles parka today, and it's not even really that cold.
We're in Mississauga in Celebration Square with a cool start to the day. Now, our winter outlook was just released this week, Greg. I'm joined by Greg and Matilda, who's kind of hiding behind there. Now, what do you think about the fact that we could be seeing a winter very similar to last year?
I'm not looking forward to it because in this area, it's cold. The wind, it's a wind tunnel, all the condos and everything in this area. It makes me feel like I want to go down south.
Not a bad idea, Greg. You let me know, and then maybe we'll catch a plane because I'm not a fan of the cool conditions as well. And it is going to be a little bit below seasonal today in Mississauga and throughout Southern Ontario, so be sure to bundle up. We're in Mississauga today in Celebration Square on the ice rink. Yes, it's the season of public skating. And I have to say, here in Celebration Square through Mississauga, looking mighty festive. You'll appreciate the festive cheer because temperatures a little less celebratory if you're not a fan of the cool conditions, because we're a little bit below seasonal through the day today. We have a bit of a wind chill, but luckily sun and cloud is on tap for the day. And compared to what we're seeing in some parts of our country, that's pretty good news. Well, it's the season where you'll be seeing a lot more of this, putting these guys to work, but all for good fun here in Mississauga. Celebration Square, of course, the public ice rink here opened up last Saturday, and there are public skating events throughout the winter season. Hard to believe that we're less than a month away from Christmas, but they also have plenty of light displays here in Celebration Square to put you in the festive spirit. Do you find cold temperatures festive? Well, if you do, then you're really going to enjoy your day today, as we are on the below seasonal side of things. The good news is winds relatively calm, especially compared to earlier in the week. It's the perfect opportunity to get out and enjoy this freshly smoothed over ice.